We are in 1 Kings 22. We're going to be doing verses 1 through 50. Here we see a time of peace between Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, and Ahab, the king of Israel. And so they meet together and they're talking about going to war together against Ramoth Gilead. And Jehoshaphat asks that we should seek the counsel of the Lord. Is there not a prophet we can ask? And the king of Israel replies that there is one prophet, but he hates him because he never prophesies anything good about him, always bad. Jehoshaphat replies that the king should not say such things. And while that is very true, I think we can all think of people in power who do not like people who do not like them, who just want to hear what they want to hear. And this prophet is not one of those people. Later on, after they have summoned this prophet, and he is not saying what they want, he replies with, "As surely the Lord lives, I can tell him only what the Lord tells me." The character of this prophet is that he is indeed not going to lie or take things down. He gives mixed reviews of this war that is going to take place. One of his prophecies include verse 17, "I saw all Israel scattered on the hills like sheep without a shepherd. And the Lord said, these people have no master. Let each one go home in peace." The reply of that to the king of Israel is, "Ugh, didn't I tell you he never prophesies anything good about me, only bad?" And so we then see the Lord making this war happen anyway, even though they've reached out to this prophet who has told them what is going to happen. And even though the king of Israel has already received several prophecies of what is going to happen, they still need to happen. And so the Lord allows these other prophets to have a deceiving spirit in their mouths to entice the kings to go in and go to war. And this does indeed work, and the kings do indeed go to war. They go into war and they devise their own schemes and they go their own ways. But in the middle of that battle, someone draws his bow at random and hits the king of Israel, who is hiding who he is. And he is wounded, and the battle continues to rage, but he needs to flee because he is scared he will die. As the sun sets, a cry spread throughout the army, every man to his own town, every man to his land. And so we see these prophecies coming true. The people without a leader scattering. The king dies and is brought to Samaria and buried there. But they wash his chariot at a pool in Samaria. A pool that is not held in high regard, and there the dogs lick up the blood from the chariot, just as was prophesied before. So here we see the end of this reign of this king of Israel. Foolhardy, selfish, ambitious, often disregarding the prophets of the Lord. At times humbled, at times meek, but never able to get over this selfishness, where he always chose himself and his pride and his opinion of himself and his wants over what God was saying to him. And how often can we choose ourselves over the will of God. When we have our desires and our dreams and our wants, when we have our pride and our opinion of ourselves and our social standing, can we not hate the prophet of God who tells us how it really is? But if the prophet of God is always saying bad things about us, how can we not take that as an inclination that maybe we're on opposite sides? And so, Lord, I just pray that we would again choose your side. That if it is our humility and our loss and our standing, or your way, that we would choose your way in faith. Wherever and whatever that means for us or demands of us, that we would be overjoyed to be your people and your servant and your children. That we would not be distracted by all these other things, but that we would listen to your prophets, that we would listen to your voice, that we would listen to your word, and that we would receive it well. As a father and a king. And that whatever it said is more than good enough. Amen.